Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Think Big, Act Bold podcast, where we focus on people who are empowering the youth in unique ways and figuring out ways to make the next generation better than the current generation. And I am happy to have my guest today, J.R. Clark. So I know a whole lot of your story. I know your story with the not
HCAA, yes.
HCAA, Harford Community Action Agency, and the work that you've been doing there, and then just watching you with the Havre Grace Rec, and you have your boys in there, and then now spreading onto SJS. So I'm excited to hear kind of where you're going, what happened, if you want to give a brief introduction of kind of who you are, where you're from, and then the focus of your work, then we can dive deeper into everything.
Yep, absolutely. So my name is J.R. Clark, native of Havre Grace. I'm graduated from Havre Grace, went to Harford Community College, played basketball there, earned a scholarship to a Division II college in North Carolina, Barton College, so that kind of takes care of the education part of it. That's when life started. So as we fast forward into my, like you were saying, so yeah, I am a PATH case manager for Harford Community Action Agency. That's what I do by day. I'm engaged and linked up with the most vulnerable population that we have here in Harford County, which is the homeless. Our agency is the central intake agency in the county for everything homeless, but myself, if you're homeless and also have a mental health diagnosis. So 100% of my population, obviously saying the vulnerability of them, but very vulnerable, like they're experiencing some of the tougher times in their life through, financially, spiritually, emotionally, and they're just falling on hard times. So my job, I don't swoop in. However, I'm in contact with them. My first job is to try to get them shelter or housing, or just on the path to that. The most important thing is though getting them plugged into these much needed mental health resources. So whether it's therapy, a psychiatrist, whether they do or don't need medication, that's the thing that really stabilizes somebody, because you can have a great opportunity. You can have somebody can throw you in a big house, but unless you have the the mental fortitude to kind of navigate this stuff, that's where it comes in at. So that's where I landed at. 3 years ago, I started off as a street outreach coordinator at the agency, and that was literally going to the corners of the county and finding people outside. Found some we find people in tents. And when I say find, it's not that they were there before we right. found them, but we might get a report saying that somebody is, there's a tent encampment. We go search those tent encampments, try to engage those people and offer them the resources. So, and the reason why mental health is so big is because obviously, if you find somebody outside, that they're in the most vulnerable times of their life. But some of these people are so mentally fried, that's a bad word, but just have been through so much mentally that they can't even accept the opportunity for housing, for shelter, anything. So there's some people that do, they'd rather navigate outside than to accept a shelter stay or something. So that leads to me working with the vulnerable population and dealing with their mental health. So I'm a dad of three. Father of three, 15-year-old, 11-year-old, and 8-year-old, all boys, right? So that throws me into the youth.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not, I'm always going to be a dad. Bigger than just being a dad is kind of not dealing with my anxiety, what's going on in this world. I can't control their environment. But what I can do is if I dive in as a YDP, a youth development professional, then that means my afternoons are filled with the kids, filled with my kids and then their friends.
Yep.
So I have an opportunity to make a big impact on them. I used to work in the school system in many capacities, substitute teacher, parapro, coach and everything. But 8 to 2, you've got a whole group of teachers, administrators with the kids. Now 2 to 10, we don't have that same group. So that's why I find my work in the evenings with the kids to be not more important, but more impactful, because I'm able to engage with them early in their life.
And it's not forced.
Definitely not. It's all organic.
Right.
So there you go. That's a big word for me also, is organic.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these situations, whether it be competition, education, they're contrived. They're of people putting something together to make it look a certain way. But my whole thing is organic. Same way I'm here talking to you, not with a lot of prep, no note sheets, maybe a couple, slides or whatever, but organic is how we go. And organic is how we have to teach our kids to live, because we're not always prepared for the situation. And this world we live in is dynamic right now. So everything is organic to me. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sure your sons were part of it, but beyond your sons, what's your why for kind of getting involved in the youth? And before we move on to that, I know we're focused on your impact with the youth, right. But I can't negate the fact that you're doing the work that you're doing with the homeless and the need for that. Because I remember a few years ago when we were talking, you had even said that you were going to the bus stops and just trying to connect with people there, sitting there for a few minutes, seeing who would open up. And for me, I can say I could never imagine me doing that. And I'm sure I'm like a lot of people where it's like it takes a really special person to put yourself in that position and give them the help, because the world's kind of turned their back on them. And as long as they're not in people's way, people don't even really think about them. So I do want to thank you for the work that you do with them before we move on to the youth impact too.
Appreciate you. And so it's just, so with that is advocacy. You know what I mean? That's really all I'm doing. And I don't want to say it like I'm saying it light, but it's advocacy. A lot of these people are forgotten about.
Yep.
They're pushed to the places, to the corners, to the bushes, to the forest, to places just out of sight, out of mind. That's what it is. And I'm not going to do a deep dive into politically, but in any, once you get them, if you can't see them, you can forget about them.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just blessed to be in a situation where I can't forget about them, because obviously we're the contact, but some people depend on us to just engage with them. And so that's what I'm saying. So a lot of times before I give them the resources, before I can place them in a shelter, before I can even identify something they can apply for, housing, whatever, it's really just listening to them. And the first engagement I have with a lot of these people, sometimes they're in tears. And it's not because, obviously they're traumatized because they're re-explaining something that's traumatizing to them, but because somebody's listening.
Yeah.
So
or asked anything.
And really care. So it's a difference, because I know a lot of people ask me, how they doing? They say, hey, AJ, how you doing? And they off to the next question. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes, and I had to catch myself, because sometimes they ask you in a vulnerable moment, and you need to tell somebody what's going on.
And they're 10 steps ahead.
It was just a formality of them just asking, right? So I use that experience to engage with these people. So sometimes the way that I can get them to make a good decision, or encourage them to make a good decision, is show them that I care about the bad decision, right? I'm trying to tell you, I have the most unusual engagements with people. I might have somebody that says, look, JR, I don't want to speak to you right now because I'm going to go smoke crack. And I'm going to be back. And I mean, these people are homeless. And in that little 15-minute conversation, I'm trying to get them some resources. But they say, look, I don't want to hear that right now.
They're not ready.
But so in my mind, that might be the last time some people would even talk to those people. But mind you, that's just one of the many interactions I'm going to have with them. So I got to, okay, all right, well, I'll see you later. Just come back. You know what I mean? You got my number. Call me when you need me. But so that spirit that you have to develop, because you don't have it all. And then plus, when you're yourself in a vulnerable position, it's hard. But you tap into that. You say, what do I need? And that's all I do during the day is what would I need? When I need somebody to listen to, I shut up and let somebody talk. So it's about, I don't want to say it's that simple, but it's like really like being what you need.
And I think it's helped with like the work that you've done with the youth, because you've now self-educated yourself on dealing with so many different people and so many different vulnerabilities. And while a lot of the youth you deal with may not be homeless, everyone's going through something. And the more we know how to deal with people who are going through anything, the better we are for the next. So I think it's not shocking that it kind of spreads from the homeless, the most vulnerable, where then you're going into the youth, where they're at the most vulnerable space in their life when it comes to, okay, am I listening to TikTok? Am I listening to my teacher? Am I listening to my parent? Am I listening to my coach? Where you can kind of jump in and say, hey, you don't have to choose. Like, let's piece this together. Let's piece this together. Oh, you hate your teacher this year? That's fine.
Listen.
But you got to deal with it, and we got to work through it.
And so it's great that you say that, because that's really the thing is being a soft listener, but at the same time developing a discernment. So not to come up with an answer for them, right? But just a perspective. What you do is you show, before I even have an answer for them, I just show them that I'm listening. And it might be just repeating what they said. Now, you can't do it if you're not listening. But when I listen to them, I'm tapped into some, keywords to what they're saying. So, oh yeah. So you're saying that you didn't have a good relationship with your mom. So you think that's affecting the relationship with your daughter. I'm no clinician. I'm really just showing them that I drew a line in it, right? Now please go talk to your therapist, because I'm also at the same time I'm going to refer them to a therapist. Yeah. So please go, and they practice talking to me.
So they're okay for the next step.
Man, and I tell them the same thing you told me. You got to go tell a therapist, and I have the ability. I can go into the therapist's office with them. Most times they don't need me to, because I'm their case manager, and because I have the ability to dispel that the uncomfortableness of them talking to somebody. I'll be in there with you, and they trust me. They trust me more than I would want them to trust me, to be honest. You know what I mean? But I'm just letting them know. Look, you gotta keep the guard down. I'll be here if something happens. Please tell this lady that, and then it goes from there. It just goes downhill. Now they're used to explaining. You know what I mean? And
they practice.
They practice on me. So if anything, I'm just a big practice dummy.
I wouldn't say dummy, but
yeah, just want
we'll figure out a better word for it. But no, giving the practice, like, it's scary to open up for the first time. It's scary to even express a weakness for the first time. So once you do it the first time, the second person who gets it, it's a little bit easier. So I think you're giving them that opening to where it's like, oh, it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it was.
So imagine this: I'm meeting somebody 35, say average age, because I engage with my clients. Some of them are 60 and 70, right? So imagine they're 35, and the first experience they're telling me about that has crushed them, that has caused them great grief, was 6 months ago, right? Now I'm like, oh, so I'll lightly help them unpack that, but push them to some mental health resources, right? But that's just what happened lately. They're really traumatized by what happened to them when they were 6. So understand my engagement with the kids when they're 6 and they're 7. Why
you're healing that 35-year-old that you met. Ooh.
So that's the wraparound. But I'm also preventing it and maybe giving them the 6 to 7 to 8. Well, the tools that you introduce at 6, they're not going to develop till they're 8, 9. But after 2-3 years of working with a therapist, with a counselor, now that 9-year-old is not going to go through at 12 what the 35-year-old went through at 12. Not by happenstance either, because they've had professionals that helped them develop coping skills.
Yeah.
And that's what, that's where mental health, that's what it's about. That's what coping skills is. Something is going to go wrong. It's not to teach you how to make everything right. It's what to do when something goes wrong. Critical thinking, coping skills. So then we tie that into sports. Yeah.
And that's what I want to jump into. So I was super excited to see your work with SJS, partially because I was like, wait, I'm not the only one who sees it that way. So I think I saw your announcement right after I got back from Jamaica. And my time in Jamaica was bringing life skills to a boxing camp. So I'm like, okay, I just came back. We took life skills to a boxing camp. And for me, I do it in vision board and goal setting. So then when I saw your partners, and I'm assuming it's partnership. I didn't want to mix up the word.
I'll elaborate on that.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the partnership with SJS, where I'm like, one, I saw them open. I'm like, thank you. There's a space for kids to go that's not county run, where it's limited, where the county buildings sit empty most of the time and the kids don't get to use it. And it's not public, but it's more public and it's more accessible than a lot of the other spaces that are available.
Absolutely.
So when I saw what they were creating, I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And then I saw you come on, I was like, you are literally saving kids' lives. So I would love for you to kind of share what you're doing with SJS, and then if you want to share a little bit about SJS, feel free.
So I'm going to give you the cookie cutter. You know what I mean? So what would I read off? So basically, what it is it's a structured approach blending recreation, skills training, and personal development for youth and young adults. So that's the medicine and the candy.
Yeah.
Right. So so I take myself for instance, and this is all. I feel like I got a PhD in life experience when it comes to this stuff, because this is what I'm giving the kids. I'm a sports guy. I centered myself around sports my whole life. So most of my great life skills involve sports.
Okay.
Now with sports with me is the same thing, is teamwork. I mean, first it's like your personal accountability, right? And mind you, sports, if you're a selfish person, they've got selfish sports for you. There's golf, there's tennis, there's one-on-one tennis. There's the stuff that you only depend on you.
Yeah.
Right? But when you talk about a team is like a family. Right? So what are you accountable to your family for? Is it taking out the trash? Is it washing the dishes? Is it whatever? Is it just, are you the moxie producer? Are you the person who just provides the stability or whatever the case be for your family? Now, mind you, a team. You got, let's just take basketball. You got 5 people on the team. It's even more dynamic when you go to football. 11 people on the team. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to baseball, you got 9. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever the case may be. But say basketball for me, 5 people. You got a point guard. You got you got all these positions, and this is the best analogy. I might can do all 5 of them things good, right? I might be 6'9", 6'10", and I can dribble. I'm the best dribbler on my team. I'm the best shooter on my team. I'm the best rebounder on my team. I'm the best defender on my team, right? But I can only play one position.
Yeah.
And if everybody on the team, if I have 4 other people on the floor, my favorite thing to do might be to shoot. But what if the other 4 people can shoot and they're all short? But I'm 6'10", but I can shoot. What should I do? Tell them, nah, y'all go get the rebounds? Nah, I'm 6'10". I'm gonna sacrifice the favorite thing I want to do but I'm gonna have to defend the biggest man, and I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to play the post. So I'll do that for the team. But if I develop that skill, chances are in life I'm gonna have my time to show that skill, and that's the thing within sports that I think is missing, is because everybody wants to be lit.
Everybody wants to be the highlight.
To be the guy, and that's cool. That's one role. There's 5 roles on a basketball team, right? And on every team, one of the roles is a superstar. But only 1 or 2 people are even built for that, right? Let's not. So you know what I mean. Most of the people crying about playing time and all that, they shouldn't be, right? So, but I'm saying is that you just accept your roles. The superstar is one. Then the superstar is a role player. But then now you have these specific roles. Like if I'm a doctor, but I'm a cardiologist. Yeah, I'm a doctor, but I specialize in the heart.
Yeah, I don't want to see your foot.
I might be able to give you some good advice on the foot because my other friends is a doctor, but that's my specialty, right? So my thing is, when it comes to sports, basketball, it's easier to find a specialty. And to find a specialty, you find out what you do good.
Yeah.
If I got slow feet and I don't make decisions fast, I'm probably not a defender. Right? But if I got slow feet and I'm 6'8" and I'm hard to move, I know I can rebound and I know I can defend. So those are the things. But if I'm a winner, and if I want to win, I'm going to find myself a part of a team, and I'm going to do the things that I'm great at so my team can win. Fast forward to SJS. All right, so SJ. I didn't invent SJS. I wasn't a founding member of SJS. You know what I mean? So I partnered with SJS have brought me in.
Okay.
How about that? Ricky always reminds me. So we partnered. I partnered my gifts with their gifts. It's resources and resources. I'm just a human resource, right? I'm just a walk-in resource. That's all I am. So with them, obviously they have gym space, which you say is not county run. It's not associated with any government, right? So and that helps with availability.
Yeah.
It helps with a lot of the red tape. It helps with a lot of the empty gyms sitting empty, right? So the caveat to that is we got to keep the lights on.
Yep.
Right? And so right now, but I can say every price point that I've ever seen associated with SJS you're getting your bang for your buck.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? We all, if you know, but then there's still an element that we have to make it accessible to the public and let them understand. We all know where that money's funny these days with everybody. So SJS as an entity, we are a service. We are a resource and a service to the community. But like I said, we don't. It's not government funded, so we got to keep the lights on. So that's where the price point comes. But if anybody knows anybody, all price points are fair. As it
beyond
comes,
fair,
way beyond. Right. Yeah. I don't want to harp on that.
You don't have to.
Then there's room for debate.
I will speak from the outside. It's beyond fair.
Absolutely. So,
the open run prices.
Everything. So what I bring to the table is my experience with mental health. Well, first with the community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people. Everybody knows me, right? So just engagement. I'm an engaging. I can walk into a room where nobody knows me or nobody say and shake a hand or introduce myself. I don't feel uncomfortable about that. So that was a big asset that I can bring to the partnership. But I'm grateful to SJS, to Success Journey Sports, for inviting me in, for giving me the resources that they give me to help my community, because they recognize it also. So that's just me wanting it and somebody seeing a need at the same time. Because you can want something, but if the community doesn't identify a need, then I don't have any value. So my value comes from what you or any parent in the community knows about how I feel about the kids, right? So that's where it would be. So SJS gives me, and so officially we've launched Success Journey Society. So that's my offshoot, right? So I'm big. We're all big on words, and so society is a big word for me. And if and social. So some people got to understand that social comes from society.
Yeah.
And that's just my big thing with these kids. Before, obviously education, but I think that we have to redevelop some socialization in the kids.
Right.
Right? Because if it's because of technology, phones and all that, this is an opportunity. So the kids can't work out and strain themselves and be on the phone at the same time. So I'm saying when you're in the gym, when they're engaged, the phone is down. There goes one distraction. Now I have an opportunity. Now their minds, their spirits, their eyes are open. Now we can sow something into them.
Yeah.
But so activity is just the low hanging fruit. It's like the bait. So really so if it was basketball, obviously it's a gym there. We do a lot of sports in the gym. But say if it was basketball, so what we're introducing is the game around basketball, which you guys know all too well. So you got photography, you got commentating, you got coaching, you got training, you have facility care.
Yeah.
You have, and that's 7 things right there I just rattled off that have nothing to do with actually playing the game. And you translate that to every game. So there's a business behind sports, right? And that right there has more to do with your social skills, like with what you have in your body, not what you can do with your body, what you have in your brain. So you can have a sprained ankle, you can have a broken foot, you can have a physical disability and still be productive in the sports world. Whether it's commentators, do you know how many commentators, NBA, any commentator that have speech impediments? that have conquered speech impediments. Yeah. Kenyon Martin is on Gil's Arena, right? And I knew of. He couldn't talk in interviews during his career. So to see him transcend obviously his career out of his basketball, and now he's on a talk show. People don't know his story, so they don't understand how impactful that is, right? So it's these skills that he's developed, the value that he's developed in the sport that actually let him conquer a personal problem. Because imagine if you stutter in front of 2 people that you know. Yeah. Imagine being in front of millions of people that you don't know. What type of anxiety you have to overcome. There we go, mental health. Yeah. Right? That you talk about anxiety. So we'll dispel this rumor. Anxiety, depression, PTSD. 90%, unfortunately, 90% of the people that I'm around every day have experienced this. Right?
And that's the 90% that you know, because there's some that
you don't know.
They don't know. They've never been told, this is the norm of my life. You can't tell me I have anxiety. This is how life is. But
first
they don't realize
what anxiety is.
Right.
They looking at it like, is it like, no, we all, so when you get anxious, you have anxiety. Somebody told me how to reverse engineer that is to say anxiety is like a possession. It's like a final thing. You don't say I have anxiety. You say I get anxious, and then you identify what you get anxious with. So I don't have anxiety. That's a blanket statement. I get anxious when the girl I like, with kids, I get anxious when the girl I like comes sits next to me. Now you identify them with, them butterflies in your stomach, bro? That's anxiety. That's you being anxious. But you know how you swallow it, you smile, and you
figure out the way to get through.
That's how you get through anxiety. Right? So everybody thinks that, the mental health is for the psychiatrist and therapist, and it is, right? But bringing awareness to mental health
there has to be a bridge.
Is my number one goal, is to just identify it, because we can all laugh at it when it's identifiable, right? You don't feel shame about it. I'm telling you, I laugh at something. Like, I have anxiety. I have, we're all depressed. I just went through some tough things in my life, right? That don't bode well on people's psyche. And this is not being a victim. It's not victim. This is just the facts. So through my life experience, I understood how important mental health was. And that's what really drew the common thread through sports, through family, through anything. So as I'm introducing SJS, Success Journey Society, obviously it's a youth initiative, but the best thing about it is we have the opportunity to service families also. Yeah. So when it comes to, we're preparing like a food advocacy program. so we can help people get in touch with, food shortages and stuff like that. Me, by day, I work for the Community Action Agency.
Right.
So there's a lot of resources that I just want to make the people aware of. You know what I'm saying? Dispel the rumor, get the pride out of the way, because that's a lot of things, especially in our community, is pride. People don't want you to know what they're going through.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. That's why if people, and I can say it now, I had people call me over these past 3 years, ask me, am I all right? Sometimes I was. Sometimes I was struggling. Sometimes I wasn't. But asking me, why am I sharing so much on social media? And some of the stuff had to do with me, but some of the stuff didn't. It just had to do with something that I know everybody goes through.
Or a younger you.
Or a younger me, right?
Or older you.
Or exactly. Yeah. But just identifying it, putting it out there. And I understand people that really care about me would, yo, are you all right? Like, why are you? And I'm cool at that point. I'm releasing it. I'm cool because I know it's helping somebody out there, and I'm not doing it to be messy. Because if I was being messy, I'd put a name on it. I'm gonna put a name. We know how to direct it. But I'm just saying that I'm showing everybody that, because people congratulate me about the work I'm doing, and I get it. But this is therapy to me. You feel me? Like, let me be selfish in that moment. I get a kick. I mean, it helps me to help people.
Oh yeah.
Now, you take the money out of it. I don't like money. Is, you know what I mean? It's a limit to that. But if I know I can help somebody emotionally, mentally, that's limitless. And then that helps them in the other areas of their life. If I can just help you financially, that's not gonna help you no other way. But
it'll get you through the day.
That's it.
Yeah.
But so for me, that mental fortitude that some of us have and some of us don't is to be developed. It's just to be developed. And I remind my homeless population every day that they're champions. And even the kids. But see, with the kids, it's tougher because some of the times the stuff that the kids do has to do with their home life. And so one thing I want to do, I want to dispel that rumor that is when a parent, however the kid gets in my program, especially if a parent enrolls their kid in my program, I want them to feel comfortable about enrolling their kids in the program. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a gossip central. Everything is protected. All information obviously protected, first for the kid, but also for the family. So I want the families to understand that even if some issues that the kid has derived from something that's going on in the family, that's no reason to be shameful. You're supposed to pick that cross up with the kid and y'all champion it. Right, because and I'm gonna make sure that they're able to champion it. That's another thing. Like, I'm a protector of people's issues. Like, everybody got issues. I shouldn't have to. And that's another thing, Meg. So I know everybody, and everybody knows me.
Yeah.
So everybody has at some time poured their problems on me. So my thing is never to use that in a bad way. I'm saying that if you told me your problems, now do something about it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, don't be judgmental about Jimmy Schmo who got that same problem. Because I see people doing that a lot. They're being very judgmental and very messy about Jimmy Schmo's problems. When don't forget that you told me you had that same problem.
Yeah. And you're trying to hide it like it doesn't exist.
So and not even to be messy, I would tell them is, deal with your problem. Mm-hmm. Now I'll go right back to them. Let me help you deal with your problem, right? Because the reason why they're projecting on Jimmy Schmo because they don't want them to see the you know what I mean, the similarity. So I mean, that's my deep dive into of my why. When you talk about my why, it's because it's lived experience. Like, I have some experiences in my 47 years of life that everybody can benefit from, and I'm willing to share it, no holds barred.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody I'm sharing it about feels a certain way, they shouldn't, because it's in confidentiality.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to point a finger. I probably don't even mention anybody by name, but the stories have to be told so these people know that they're not alone.
Because it's someone else's shared story, and if it's only going through you and they're not sharing it somewhere else, that has a big impact. And I think you brought up like another thought to where what people don't realize, and like me and Kev have talked about it, to where there's so much pressure on, like, first it was like, okay, there's pressure on high school sports to get to a D1 college. Now the pressure starts at rec sports, and a lot of the pressure is coming from the parents. And so for you to like engage and give them other possibilities, because a basketball team is only 5 players. So the chances of you making it to the NBA are limited, but the chances you make it like to the NBA as a player are limited.
Right.
But what else could you be?
What?
And then now you found a way to bring your one love of sports, keep that through adulthood, and not be, and yeah, okay, you may not make the like superstar budget or the superstar payroll, but you're not sitting in an office where you hate life.
Right.
So I do think with a lot of the things is with the parents with like, man, there's so much pressure on these kids to be this perfect athlete, where it's like, sometimes they just need to know like, it's okay if you're not. Like, it's okay if you don't get the college scholarship that we wanted or the NFL offers, like, it's okay. Like, there's another route. And I don't think they hear it enough because they're like, no, my kid's doing this, my kid's doing, and yes, your kid's great, but you have to like deal with the mental, because what happens when they don't get picked up by the high school they wanted? Now you're mad at them because they didn't get picked up. So the only way they're going is if you pay, but you don't want to pay. So now they're back at a
We're
public
talking
school.
about an 8th grader.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. Whoa, and you talking about an 8th grader?
Yep.
So I got a 6th grade son right now. Right, he's early in the whole basketball thing. Right, but I know that if when I sow enough time into his basketball ability, he might have a chance to play at a MIAA school or something. Because mind you, I got friends all over. So if it was up to me to use my contacts, I know my son is primed for private school, high school education, right? But at what cost? Because I know it's a big bridge between him getting there. Because mind you, I'm gonna be able to fast forward because I got resources, I got the knowledge and all that. But what about those? I think about those parents that don't understand what's going on, and they putting a lot of pressure on a 6th grader, on a 7th grader, on an 8th grader. I got kids, all these, like I'm engaged with the kids, so the kids come up to me. Some of their parents probably might not fool me for whatever reason. That's left to be said. That's cool. But the kids, I got a connection with the kids, so they're telling me, I'm like, yo, what's going on? What you doing next year? Oh, I'm gonna go to Calvert Hall, or I'm gonna go here, and I get it. But realistically, I know that's a lot of pressure on them kids. And them kids don't even know the majority of them don't have an idea what it takes. Yeah. Parents sometimes don't. So I just think sometimes it's unfair to challenge your kid with something that you don't know, you don't have all the specifics about. And you don't understand the resources that it takes or doesn't take.
And can you handle the mental part of it? Because if they don't make it, can you handle that?
As a parent, can you? Not as the kid. We're still talking about the parent. So can you as a parent not give your kid that traumatizing ride home from the 7th grade championship game? Like, come on, man. And I get it, because I didn't have that around. But I love sports enough to know that I cared that much. Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, I think the parents care more than the kids.
Oh yeah.
And I know that, but I'm not challenging them to where like you're wrong. I get it. And it all comes from a space where you want your kid to do better and be better than you would. So I understand that. But when you're putting that pressure on that kid, then now it's mental health. Because now I'm dealing with these kids in the Boys and Girls Club where I'm at. I'm dealing with these kids in all these other arenas that I'm at, and they're cracking under the pressure.
They don't feel good enough.
Of success, not even acceptance. Like all these kids really want to feel is accepted. Yep. Now there's another added. Now they need to be super successful in 8th grade. Like no.
And the pressure that comes on, like, people don't realize, okay, say everything goes well through middle school and they get a scholarship and they go to this private school. The level of education is different. Are you able to get them through that mental?
It's a high vibe arena to be in.
And now you're the pressure of school, this pressure of sports. On top of it, it's like, at the end of the day, middle school, elementary school, all you want to do is please your family. Yeah. All you want to do is make your parents happy.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I feel like a lot of them are being stripped by that, because it's like, well, I'm trying to be the best on the team. I'm trying. It's like, sometimes it's just like, man, like a little bit of credit and just understanding. And I think that's why I was excited to have you on, because I think people forget about the mental aspect of sports, and especially in the youth, and teaching them early, like how to deal with, like, you can't ignore anxiety. You can't ignore depression, that you're going to feel down sometimes. You're going to feel defeated. But what resources do you have internally to get you through it? Because at the end of the day, you can only answer your phone so many times.
Right.
So as amazing of a resource as you are, giving them the skills to deal with that on their own when it's like, hey, we're here today for this hour, but at midnight, I won't be there.
So it's next play.
Yeah.
It's next play mentality. That's it. When I'm teaching with the babies in the gym or the big guys, my first thing is I don't even look at a score or nothing. I'm looking at what you did after your mistake. You threw the ball away and you was the last one back on defense. You know what I'm saying? Like that accountability. That's kind of what it comes like. How it's not about what you're gonna do when you succeed. It's about what you're gonna do in failure. So in basketball, in sports, you fail 20 times a game. If I take a shot and I miss it, I failed. Yeah. Right? My thing is next shot. Now, I'm a shooter. I love to score. So you're never going to have to tell me that, God, man, go ahead, try it again. Try again. I'm going to try 20 more times to get it in the hole. Right? But it's just that so it's resiliency. It's resiliency through failure, right? But expect to fail. And let's do that. That's what I would like to start when I'm dealing with a kid is I want to put them in the toughest situation first. I'm gonna give them a drill that they can't do. Right, and they're gonna dribble the ball off their legs 3 or 4 times, and I'm you can't get that. I'm gonna record them doing that, and I'm gonna say, watch after the 4th day. 4th day, now they're smoother, right? Now I not just me, but I've helped them draw a line with development. That's the biggest thing, right? I think a lot of some coaches, programs, whatever it is, not nobody in particular, because I got a healthy respect for anybody that sacrifices their time for the kids. So I don't even really get into X's and O's. I'm really about an opportunist. Like, are you providing opportunities, or are you being a gatekeeper for the kids? That's the thing with me. It's never, you sacrifice your time, you're A-okay with me. Now what are we doing with that time after that, right? Now we got to do something productive. Let's not make a silo. Let's make sure these kids can get out. So, I mean, at the end of the day, with how basketball affects the mind, how sports affects the mind, Success Journey Society was the perfect opportunity for myself, as long as my partners, to sow into this community. Both athletically, we can turn them up athletically, but obviously mentally, and just have them around the resources. So say a child just needs a mentor. That's low hanging fruit. Say a child and their family need a little bit more intense mental health resources, i.e. therapists, psychiatrists, stuff like that. This is definitely my opportunity to get them all the resources they need. Not for sports, though. Yeah. It's going to be for life. The sports is going to be a low-hanging fruit. You're going to do at sports how you do at life. Not at life. It's not the other way around. Right? So that was just a blessing. Of honestly, if I'm big on mental health, I can be big all I want. But if I don't have a mental health professional around me, now that I'm a case manager. But now we have the opportunity to have some more resources, some mentoring, some therapy, some counseling for these kids that need it, and for their families, more importantly, because I want to dispel the rumor. Just because a parent should not bring their child to a program that's based on mental health like they failed. That's your championing moment. When you realize it, because I've done it as a parent, that I don't have the resources that it takes to get my son over this hump. Yeah, man, that's strength right there. That's not failure. That's you saying that you recognize somebody else that's good at something that they do. Now let's give your child a chance.
And it's the value in partnerships. I mean, I think that's the big thing with like SJS is they didn't have to talk to you. You didn't have to talk to them. They could have tried to implement mental health in their own capacity, and who knows, it might have done well, it might have done horrible. Right. Like, who knows where it would have gone.
They found value, though.
But instead, they say, hey, we're going to focus on what we're good at. Bring someone in so that we don't, it relieves the pressure from them. It allows a professional who nobody has the impact that you have because no one has the experiences that you have, whether personal, whether through HCAA, those unique aspects only you carry. So they're bringing you in instead of trying to do it themselves. And I think that was the thing. And I think it's starting to change. But for a while it was, well, if you want something, hustle harder. Wear all 17 hats and you figure it out. You don't go to outside resources. Well, they might steal your idea. They might do this. They might do that. And now it's like opening, and maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like a lot of stuff is opening up to where it's like, I'm not going to try to figure out. The Lennox Lewis camp could have easily did a vision board workshop. No problem.
Right.
But why they didn't want to? why would they try to recreate my wheel when they could just bring me in and then they got to sit back and watch?
Yep.
While they got to sit back and watch, what it turned into was I'm teaching, they're interacting with their campers.
Bingo.
And they would have never been able to do that. And then these campers are like seeing it and seeing like, okay, Miss Megan's up there teaching. I have a boxer here that cares about what's on my vision board. And it was the same with the Emmanuel Quickly camp. They go around and they speak to the kids about their vision boards. And now the kids are like, someone cares about me.
It locks it in.
Yep.
So what you do is you're giving them the blueprint of, how to manifest the vision board. Copy and paste, click this, that. And then when y'all go back around them and hey, explain, what does that mean? And then maybe you might know some, hey, oh, that's this.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, I see it. I can feel it. I have that. It happens all the time. I've been dealing with the kids a lot. And when you give them that time, when they understand,
you see that face light up, that smile,
you will get goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now, but you'll feel it, and then you see it, right? So how about this? I deal with so many kids, man, and the fact that they straighten up when I come around. You know what I mean? Because I talk as cool as I want to them. I know all they lingo and everything, but when I come around, they say they on their best behavior. They respectful. They'll meet. Mind you, I call them, most of them, ma'am and sir.
Okay.
Right? When I really want to get them, I'm like, yo, what's up, this and that. When I'm trying to, but mind you, when I'm trying to instill something in them, I call them ma'am and sir because I expect them. If you above 12, you gonna act like a ma'am and sir. And all right, you being disrespectful? Okay, yes sir, yes ma'am. I'm letting you know you've made a decision. You know what I mean? I gave you an out. You made a decision to continue to be however you're going to be. Now we're going to have to deal with it then. And it's just accepting accountability for the actions, because what this generation is the king of is excuses. We know we all got kids. I'm saying that my kids was guilty of it too.
Yeah.
But the first thing you do when you identify a transgression, they got an excuse. Not even a reason. Oh, I did this because of this. And most of the time it's got something to do with something outside of their body. Oh, JoJo down the street made me. Look, man, I don't want to hear none of that when it comes to the kids. Take accountability. Now, I do have some kids, after working with them for a year, it don't matter what's going on. I'll lean on them. Yo, why are you talking to this lady like that, bro? That loves you, that care. Why are you doing that, right? And before I used to get a little pushback at him, I'm sorry, Mr. Clark. I'm sorry, Mr. JR. All right, cool. All right, bro, we at it. Nah, lift your head up, bro. I ain't tripping. You don't gotta wallow in shame, bro. It ain't shameful. Just
you acknowledge it. That's all I wanted.
And get by and get back to it. And now get back to being better. That's it. So that, mind you, and I don't expect everybody to have that feeling about the kids, right? But what I do know is that them same 15-year-old kids that we don't act right, they be 18.
Soon.
They be 18 and we be scared of.
So, impact.
Yep.
I clearly know the impact that you're having as you're planning and looking towards the future, all that you've accomplished so far. What do the next 3 years look like for you, for what you're building, inside SJS, outside SJS? What does it look like for you?
So, that's a great question. And you're saying 3 years. So 3 years, my son is my oldest is in 10th grade. So we're looking at around the time he graduates. We're looking around the time I'm about to turn 50. We're looking at, a whole bunch of stuff that's happening simultaneously. So I'm looking at 3 years of growth for SJS, Success Journey Sports and Success Journey Society, right? Seeing where that takes us, and that's just as far for my community. I want that to impact as many students and families as it can. So that's going to serve as a resource hub. One of the resources right now is just physical activity, partner with, mental health supports. But mind you, whether it's food advocacy, we got, just a whole bunch of stuff that the community needs, that if we have the ability to give it to them, whether through space or just resources, then that's what we plan on doing. Obviously, everybody knows I got a brand. So this is the great thing, that Success Journey Sports partner with GAB. So they recognized everything from Get a Bucket to Growth and Balance to everything that I was doing. And they specifically, I was just amazed that when they solicited, I'm thinking they solicited for, you just know, number 44. They think it's something to have to do with, no, it was everything that I'm doing. All the mental health stuff, all the sports stuff, and then all the community stuff. So SJS is just who knows what we're
Right.
gonna grow that to? Like, really, who knows? I mean, we have so many verticals up. We got Gary Neal training. We have Leah in there with the strength and conditioning. We have another trainer in there, Chris Pappas from, I think, the Bel Air area. He's in there. They're just open run for adults. Pickleball. We're about to start pickleball for the and I want to say for the elderly, but pickleball is a
I play pickleball twice a week.
Absolutely. No, I'm saying that to say I thought pickleball was an elderly sport until we know, and then I know what it takes to. You can't be decrepit playing pickleball, you know.
No.
You gotta have then they're like tennis, you know what I mean? So I just say that to say there's a lot of stuff, a lot of offers, a lot of services that we're offering through SJS, Success Journey Society, right? So obviously this is an initiative aimed at, you know, activity, mental health, along with the business roles around sports, and I'm excited to see that grow and affect as many people as possible. Like, that's really the thing, is to affect as many people as possible. And for on the lighter night, so we're going to hold some information nights and some interest nights here coming up in this next couple weeks. So if anybody, I want to speak out to the world, if anybody has any wants any information about Success Journey Society, feel free to contact me. You can call me, DM me, inbox me on any of my socials, or contact any of the Success Journey Sports family, and they'll get you in contact with me so we can explain some more about the program. But the program is just centered around, obviously, activity, mental health, and just community, what we can do for the community.
If you had one piece of advice to someone listening, what would it be? Whether it's something that they're going through, something that thinking big. You're my first, and I know degree-wise you're not a psychiatrist, but you are a mental health specialist through and through. What would be one piece of advice that you would give to someone? I know that's probably hard.
Let me see. Let me say two.
Yeah.
I mean, first, I just want. I mean, it's hard, and this is a space because this isn't government funded or nothing like this. I wanted to, trust God first and foremost, because if through my life experience, what I know is that God has a special plan for each and every one of us. And it's so, as we do have people to look up to, models and stuff, and it's all right, but just understand that if that's the path that you want to go, God has his own special success for you that's tied to your heart's desire. What he's going to ask you to do is show some diligence and obviously some faith, right? But it's just really my first piece of advice is to hold on to your faith. Right? And I'm not telling you who to pray to. I'm just saying there is a higher power that leaves free will for you to mess up the big plan. So that's because there is a big plan on your life, right? But God gives you free will, right? So that's first of all. But the second is the faster you find yourself, the faster you find what you want. And it's like we just have to be okay with those alone times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have to learn to isolate ourselves. Even on a team, even in a family, even in a marriage, you have to isolate yourself. And, however you ground yourself, God, your goals and everything, and just make sure that, you're operating in, with yourself. Don't let anybody, project their standards on you. You know what I mean? And it's hard because, and I'm speaking to young adults, and I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to everybody. I was even speaking to parents, because what I had to do, like, listen, man, I accomplished a decent amount in this basketball world, right? But I'm very, 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 very insistent on not projecting that to my kids. I want my kids to use the game to learn life. Right, to learn sacrifice and learn stuff like that, right? But I want them to be tapped into their abilities, to their wants, their needs, to even know if that's what they want to do. I want my child to tell me, Dad, I don't want to play, I don't want to do this, and up to me to say, okay, son, but I want to do that. I want my child to have some intentionality about what he does and tell me what he wants to do. So then I know as a dad what resources I need to go out and get. So and mind you, it might not happen at the same age for everybody, but I'm saying is, and how that reacts to what you want, what I want to tell everybody is just know you, right? Because it's like when you're around you can be around 15 people that all have the same interests, but hopefully they know themselves.
Yeah.
And it is just 15 people that enjoy the same thing, not 14 people trying to please one person. Right? So that's what I would say. Just know you, because they're somebody. First of all, God loves you for who you are, right? But you're gonna find communion. You're gonna find community. Just let's not rush to have something in common with somebody. You know what I mean? That's just it. And that's that. As far as I say for the kids need to learn. And I'm gonna do a better job. Hope God willing through SJS is letting the kids be all right individually. Like, you're all right. We don't need gangs. You don't need groups. You don't even need the team. Like, there's an opportunity for you to experience life through what you have to offer, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's okay to also need a team too, right? Because I know some people that if you can't stand up for yourself, then you might need somebody to, not put a bat in your back, but stand up for you and you not owe them nothing.
Right. And recognizing the fault.
That's it. And okay, so let's add that. Let's add that. Let's just be real with ourselves, right? And let's identify our weaknesses. Yeah, I think the stronger we are is when we are in touch with our weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because if you know what you don't have and what you can't do, not what you need to work on, but God creates us in a way that sometimes you can't do it. So if you can't do it and it's a necessity, partner or surround yourself with somebody who does. Then you find out what they need and they can't do. And a lot of times, gotta work some funny games is because what are your weaknesses will be somebody else's strengths. And that is the team.
Yep.
It's not everybody that knows how to shoot the ball. It's not a team full of people that can dribble the ball between their legs and around their back. Nah, it's when one person can dribble, one person can shoot, one person can defend, one person can rebound, and then one person can hold it all together. And there you have a team. 5 people that don't do the same thing, right? But do one thing for the collective. And it sounds cliche. You know what I mean? A lot of this stuff that I didn't agree, not to say buy into, it's been the cliche stuff. So if somebody wants to know where purpose is, read a book of quotes or something. And find a quote that you believe in. Y'all know, because I done seen y'all post quotes before. And we share stuff, right?
Yeah.
So words are powerful. So find some words that inspire you, right? And then we all know how that leads to is get a book. We need to read. So that's another thing that I'm excited about with these kids is give them the opportunity to find out what they want and then give them somewhere to go read about.
Yeah.
Because that's it.
All right, I have one more question, but before that, let them know where they can find you, where they can, I know you have merchandise also that you kept quiet on the podcast, but let them know where to find you, how to connect with you, and then anything else, and then I have one more question.
Yep, so JBuckets44 is my IG, is my personal IG. Get a Bucket 44 is the brand IG. I have 3 kids with 3 brands. GAB Lifestyle, that's Growth and Balance Lifestyle. That's another offshoot. That's a brand. And then also we have Bucketheads. And I do have 4 IGs for each brand. 3 kids, 3 brands. Hopefully, they'll decide, what individually what they want to do and what they want to take each brand. My 15-year-old, he's up now. Facebook, J.R. Clark Facebook. I do have a Get a Bucket basketball group on Facebook also. I'm sure that's the time. This is something I took the least amount of time to talk about today is the brand. So everybody, that's low hanging fruit. Everybody knows about the brand Get a Bucket basketball. I'm using that now as an entity to support SJS and what we're doing. So coming up, I'm gonna have some sales. Obviously, I would like, everybody would like donations, right? Everybody would like somebody who has, if you have some extra money, throw it my way. I'll find something to do with it, right? But I know times are hard right now. So what I like to do is my kids and I decided to turn, GAB started as a business. It started as a brand. We put some business behind. So we're taking the profit business out of it, and now we're, turning GAB into a nonprofit. So I haven't made any money on the brand in years. And these last couple years I've been out here, it kind of dawned on me that the brand is kind of like an incentive for a lot of kids. So
Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool, right? So my thing is the kids now, you bring me a good report card and you got a GAB package. That's as simple as that. It's low hanging fruit, man. But you want some shorts. I mean, because a lot of kids, they be in my inbox. Oh, how can I get a shirt? How can I get a shorts? Easy. Screenshot me your grades. Screenshot me your grades and on demand. Like, I got it. I'm not negotiating no price. Like, it's yours. You know what I mean? Like, I would love for your parents to. I mean, everybody as a businessman, I would love the parents to buy the stuff for me and then make the kids do good to wear it. But I mean, mind you, I want to step in. I want to help the parents. So if I can incentivize GAB, mind you, we're gonna have scholarships. We're gonna have a whole lot of stuff that comes from the seeds that are sown with GAB. But like I said, my kids who are my boss, we decided that GAB is gonna be is non for profit, but it goes to support the community. So we want to partner up with anybody. We're looking for some sponsors. I know that report card time is a great time for me to incentivize these kids. Yeah. So I'm developing a program. Anybody that want to partner with me to, I have a package together for any kid. They bring me a decent report card, they're going to have a package. Now, mind you, it's all trajectory stated, so I don't want this report card to be to be worse than the next report card. So hopefully, we're going to track them. So everybody that's in the Success Journey Society, grades will be tracked depending on the level of assistance that you need. We do have the ability to go inside to the class, go inside to the schools, pull students out for needs, for whether it be therapy, whether it be mentoring, whatever they need, and get them back into school. I got 20-some years experience in the school system, right? But I also do know how that ties our hands. So I want to work closely. SJS and GAB is going to work closely with the school system, developing some partnerships, so it'll be a seamless transition for some of these kids, because some of these kids walk from one building into another building and the adults don't have any communication. Right. So my last thing to challenge the adults is, let's cut down some of these silos, right? And my thing is together. I've tried in 3 years to work with a lot of people, a lot of organizations. Some worked out, some didn't. Some of no fault of anybody's, it just didn't work out. But I'm tasking, all the community organizations that if you need some, a worthy cause to work with, SJS, Success Journey Society. We appreciate all partnerships, and I'm just looking forward to what the future holds for our community at SJS.
All right, last question.
Yep.
Legacy. When someone says J.R. Clark, what do you want to be remembered as? Or what do you want to be remembered by?
So it's not even mine. It's the continual legacy. If anybody knows, they know a little bit about my story, and they know about a great man, Johnny Brooks. Like, he ain't have to do what he did for nobody. He come from a good family. And not saying if you do come from a good family that you that means you're selfish. I'm saying that he was not incentivized by any means, by money, by anything, to help the community, right? So, I had the blessing of sharing. Not was he one of my coaches, but he was end up being, a big brother to me, uncle, and I end up coaching with him. So my legacy is to continue the tradition of what he did, of doing what I don't have to do. So this last transition in my life, I had an opportunity to probably settle down, not settle down comfortably, but I could have chosen anywhere. But I had a purpose. I had some unfinished business to do in this area. And this wasn't the easiest area for me to come to, you know what I'm saying? But I found purpose, and I just wanted to create a path for my people. And it's something that JB started, him along with a lot of other people. But, this cancer thing has, we lost JB too. I lost my father at the top of the year. I just lost my sister a month ago. So these were some of the most impactful people to me, JB being one of them, but all of them had a common thread. They gave me a lot of information, right? So they gave me a lot of information, and they sowed into me. They gave me a lot of confidence. And not just the blind confidence, the confidence to say that these people that you look up to, they're just human, and they're just like you. So I guess my legacy is just to carry the torch. that they definitely passed to me, because it was some conversations I've had with people with the likes of JB that let me know where other people wanted me to change my message and change how I delivered it. You know what I mean? He told me to keep just being me, and that one day, that I would be valued for my life experience. And he really just showed some confidence in me and told me some things about myself that I just didn't have a rock solid understanding about. You know what I mean? I think when they say that people believe in you more than you do,
oh yeah,
then he was one of them. He was definitely one of them. And that's the energy that I give every kid. Like, I really think I believe in every kid more than they believe in themselves, only because I think I can bring something out of them that they haven't discovered yet. Right? So if it's just discipline, if it's an ability, if it is, but I just know somebody did it for me. So my legacy is really to be who I needed, and I know who I needed, but just to turn it up. It was some barriers that Johnny Brooks couldn't cross because of the type of my goal is to cross those boundaries. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is to develop relationships with a whole family.
Yeah.
So they feel comfortable being vulnerable with me. That's just it, because that's the biggest thing that we going to overcome with just SJS, with GAB, with Harford Havens, with KevU and photography, with Think Big, Act Bold. You know what I'm saying? This is everything that we're doing is trying to like a shift in mindset, right? So if I'll say that. If I can leave, if I leave something, it's that I help shift the mindset and let people know that what we can do, and let it be a standard of greatness. You know what I mean? Not just, if somebody does it, then it's an anomaly. Like, no, we need to start pumping out products, and a part of that is just us knowing ourselves and knowing our abilities, knowing that we don't have to go anywhere for things that we have right here.
Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully you're having a lot more confidence in what you're doing, because at the end of the day, SJS is very, very new. So the impact that it's already having is amazing, and it's only going to continue to spread. So I appreciate you coming on. You know where to find him. I will drop all of your information into the description so people can find you. And of course, if anybody reaches out, I'll make sure to send them your way. SJS is in Aberdeen, Maryland, because I know we didn't bring up that.
Yep, 642 South Philadelphia Boulevard.
Perfect.
Right next to Pizza Bowlies in Aberdeen. You probably ride right by it 1,000 times a day. You wouldn't even know it's there. Like I said, if anybody needs some information, tour, just please contact me. Contact any of our family here to get in contact so I can show you around, let you know what we're all about. I appreciate you guys.
All right, so I will see you guys on the next episode.